Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Today is Sunday, March 27th, and this is episode 114 of my knitting podcast. So welcome everyone. Hello. I hope you are having a great day whenever you are watching this. Today is Easter, so happy Easter everyone. I hope you're spending some nice time with family and friends. And let's get started, I guess, with below the conch shell. We still have the March Knitalong going on for another week, or as part of the week, of finishing up old works in progress. So if you have something that's been, languishing for a while that you would like to finish, now's the time to finish it. And a lot of people had like finishing in February Knitalongs, but I decided to do mine in March because I can. So if you have anything that you are finishing or have made significant progress on, like with blanket projects and stuff, if you make significant progress, then I'll count that. And there will be a prize drawing next week of some sort. I'll see how many entries we have and then kind of decide the prize based on that. And I'll let you all know. It'll either be yarn or a pattern. One of those. So, yay. And then coming up, we have the April and May Knitalong, and the colors for that is going to be color Knitalong, just like we had in January and February. And it's going to be green and yellow. So anything you knit that is green and or yellow will count in that. And works in progress do count. So if you want to start planning now or cast on now, those will count as well. All right. On the island, I have one thing. I've started kind of being slightly monogamous just because my knitting time is mostly not in the house, and so the things that I knit on are the things that I can take with me very easily, and those tend to be socks, and I tend to just take one with me until it's done and then take the next one and so on and so forth. So this one I am knitting out of GnomeAcres House Gnome in the Scarlet Witch colorway. And this is what it looks like. Beautiful, gorgeous tonal reds and very, very squishy. And I'm doing the toe up, no purl version of the monkey pattern by Cookie A. And that is what they look like so far. Very pretty. That's the bottom. You can see how the variegation knits up. It's very tonal. I wouldn't call it variegated, but it's lovely tonal reds there. And these are for a friend of mine, and I was knitting on them last night. And I've now turned the heels. I don't think the last time I had turned the heels. I finally figured out her shoe size. And I turned the heels, and I tried them on my feet, and they fit me. Not lengthwise, they're too long for me, but widthwise they fit me. And I have small feet. I wear a size 7, sometimes 6.5, sometimes 7.5, somewhere in there. And she wears a size 8.5. And I was trying them on my feet, and they fit widthwise, but I'm wondering if they're going to be too small for her. I had another friend over last night who had size 8.5 feet, and I tried them on her, and they were way too small. She does have wide feet, the friend who I had over last night. So now I'm slightly concerned that these are not going to be big enough. And I don't have access to this friend's feet, so I can't say, like, hey, can I try these on your feet and see if they fit? I don't know if they'll fit. I might try blocking them, like soaking and blocking them while they're on the needles to see if they stretch out a lot, although I don't have a feeling they will. I don't know. Because last time I knit with this yarn, it did stretch out a little bit, but not a ton, which is nice. There's another yarn I knit with recently that I blocked it, and it just stretched so much, and I'm like, oh god, they're gonna be too big. They ended up being fine, but I feel like this is not gonna stretch very much. So what do you guys think? What would you do? I don't know. because I don't want to give them to her and not have them fit, and then have to re-knit them. Or should I just knit them bigger now? I mean, some people like snug socks, some people don't like snug socks. I don't really know. So that's my dilemma with those. But yeah, so I stopped knitting on them last night after I turned the heel and I tried them on. I'm like, well, they fit me. I'm not sure if they're going to be big enough. We'll see. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Please let me know. The other thing that's on my needles is a new shawl design, because I finished my last one, which I will talk about in a bit, and I started a new one, and it is out of Two Guys Yarn Company in their standard sock, and which is a BFL nylon, and the colors I chose are Sweet Pea and Kissed Tangerine. Those are the two colors I am knitting it out of, and I'm not going to show it to you yet because I'm still in the early stages. I think I showed you last time when I was still working on it, and I've changed a bunch of stuff since then. But I have it sketched out. It's going to be much simpler than my last one, and hopefully will be ready for testers soonish. So if you're interested in testing a shawl design of two colors of unknown stitch patterns, I know most of them that are going to happen. It's very simple. I'm already in section 2 of, I think, 5. I think that's what I decided. We're going to see how this turns out. And it's knitting up really quickly. I started it last night. Yeah, it's pretty quick. Well, at least the first 2 sections are. I can't say anything about the other ones because I haven't knit them yet. Some of them I don't even know what stitch patterns are going in them yet. So we'll see. So that's my new shawl design. I don't have a name. I don't really have a... I have name ideas, but those may change a lot. Like with my last one, it changed quite a bit. That is coming up soon. There's no deadline or anything on that. It's just kind of like when I get it done. Set sail. I have finished some things, like my other shawl design. So I finished the Night at the Theater shawl pattern, and it has been fully tech edited and test knit and all of the things, and I have sent it off to Steve and Andy to print it for YarnCon, which is next weekend. Oh my god, I can't believe it's in a week. So next weekend is YarnCon in Chicago, and I will be there on Saturday. And my shawl will be available as a kit with their yarn. It's in their soliloquy base, which is 100% BFL. There might be some nylon in there too. I should probably know these things. Anyway, it's 150 gram skein, and they will have variegated as well as their gradient sets. They said they will have tons of gradient sets because I think this shawl really looks fabulous in the gradient set. Because I knit it in the variegated, the glacial colorway, and then I knit it in the rubber ducky gradient colorway, and gradient set. And everyone loves the gradient. I love the gradient. I think out of the 2, that's my favorite. And yeah, so my samples will be there. I'll be sending them out tomorrow so that they have them for setup and everything. Because I don't know exactly what time I'll be there on Saturday, but I'll probably be there in the morning through most of the day. That's how I did it last year. I went for most of the day on Saturday. And Sunday I can't go because I have something else going on. But if you are going to YarnCon, please come find me. I will either be wandering around or at the Leading Men Fiber Arts booth showing off my shawl design. So I'll probably be wearing the yellow shawl just as like a show-off piece, and that's the more eye-catching of the 2 because it's bright yellow. Maybe I'll wear the other one. I don't know. I haven't decided. But I do have red hair, as you can see, so it's kind of easy to find me. I know a couple people have said that they are going, so make sure to find me. I haven't set a formal meetup date, or, I mean, not date, obviously it's Saturday, time or place. But if that's something people are interested in, I can, say, hey, I'm going to be at this specific place at this specific time. you know, come say hi to me. But I'll just be around. It's not a big space, so it shouldn't be hard to find me. I'll just be in the market. I'm not taking any classes or anything, so I'll just be in the marketplace or around there. So that is coming up next week, and the other thing I finished that is actually knitting, not the pattern, is I finished a pair of socks. And these are a pair of socks, and they are out of the Spotlight base by Leading Men Fiber Arts, which is BFL nylon. And I loosely based these on the one-way sock pattern by Melissa Sibley. They're not, I didn't follow the pattern exactly. Actually, I didn't really follow it at all. I just kind of followed the idea of it. Because there's this top down, I did mine toe up, and she had like a double thing like this on the foot, and then you join it with another one on the leg when you get, or, you know, hers top down, so you have kind of two of these arrow things, and then just one on the foot. Whereas I did like half of it on the foot, and then joined it with the other half on the leg. So there are two going up here. And then I did some short rows on the top here to kind of even out for the bias that is created by this chevron-y kind of stitch, and before I did the ribbing, which is just a simple 2x2 ribbing. Yeah, so you can see there was a little more like pooling of the colors there. And I am very happy with how these turned out. I did have to rip back the foot of one because I realized that there were less stitches on it than the other's foot, and that wasn't going to work. And I think I had to rip back the leg. I don't know if it was the same sock or a different sock, but I had messed up in one of these. Like I had forgotten an increase or forgotten a decrease, and by the time I got to like up here, I'm like, why do I have way less stitches than I should? And the mistake was like way back here. So I ripped back like a few inches, and it's a super quick knit. So I think in like that evening during choir rehearsal, I had knit back to where I was, and I think finished them that night. But there is a second one hiding back here. And I did the pattern on the outside of the foot, or what I intended to be the outside of the foot. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the toes and heels and everything are the same, but they're on separate sides. So you could wear it on the inside or the outside, but that is how the color, Appocolypse is the color. I don't think I mentioned that. And it's up. And I love this. I also have this in their sport weight base. That callback. It's the callback base, but it's the sport weight. And I got them for me. And then I decided I wanted a fingering for this friend. So those will get mailed off with the winter night colorway is going to this guy's wife. So there'll be a pair and sent off. And I have a bunch of stuff to mail this week, so it will be I tend to do this, just kind of group everything and then go to the post office all at once. So that will be happening this week, to send those off. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with how they turned out. I think he's going to love the colors. And they just reminded me of him for some reason. And so I'm like, okay, this is what his socks are going to be out of. So those will get mailed off this week. And yay, more socks for people. This is kind of the year. I have such a plethora of socks for myself that I figured this is kind of the year to knit socks for other people. I mean, I'm still interspersing socks for me in there. I'm not knitting socks for me. But I just really wanted to gift socks to other people for some reason. I don't know what spurred this on, but I mean, I can only knit so many socks for myself, you know? So it's just kind of fun to knit things for other people. All right, from the mainland, I got some yarn. Yay! I had placed this custom order a while ago from Felt Fusion, who's in the UK, and she does custom dyes. So you can contact her and with inspiration, and then pick what base you want and send back and forth. You know, we sent back and forth a couple times talking about what colors I wanted in it and how saturated I want it to be or not saturated in my case. And things like that. So the inspiration I chose was my Pearl of the Pacific logo, which I will insert a picture of here so you can see what it looks like. And it's a paisley that I drew and colored, and I think I actually copied the actual paisley from some like online thing that I found. Anyway, I took colored pencils and I like drew it on special paper and then scanned it into the computer, and that's what I use as my Pearl of the Pacific logo. It's what I use for Knitted Paradise, so you've probably seen it on various things. Anyway, I was just talking with my husband a while ago about how I thought it would be really awesome to have yarn based on those colors and that thing that I drew. And then I was watching the Little Bobbins podcast with Danny in the UK, and she said she had contacted Felt Fusion about getting some yarn inspired by her dog, which I thought was so cute. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to have yarn inspired by my cat. But I thought, oh, this person just like does custom dyes, because I know custom dyes are hard for excuse me, yarn dyers, because like when I did the custom dye with Danny of One Twisted Tree, we discussed a lot about colors, and like, it's hard because like I'm picturing something and they're picturing something and they may not be the same thing, and it gets tricky. So it's really awesome that Felt Fusion, you can find her on Etsy, and that she does this. And so if you're looking for a custom dye, then this is the place to go. So, I mean, you can also contact other yarn dyers and things, but results may vary. I say some people are into it and some people are, it takes a lot of time and effort. So I really appreciate the time and effort Danny took to dye that custom color for me. But anyway, I've been talking a lot and you just want to see this yarn, right? Okay. So here is the yarn. Ta-da! I'll show all of it. I got 4 skeins. Ta-da! And it is called Pearl of the Pacific. That's what we decided to name it. And it is Easter colored, let me tell you. It is fantastic. I love it. So this is going to be a sweater. I think the Threshold pullover by Melanie Berg. And ta-da! So my 4 lovely skeins. I'm trying to show them off. There you can kind of see the colors. But they are full-on Easter colors, let me tell you. And I love it. I love pastels. I look great in pastels. I love pastels. What am I going to say? I'll probably title this episode, I Love Pastel. So I'm super excited. This came in the mail yesterday and I just sat there like hugging it. One of my friends was over because we had a game night yesterday. She's sitting there like, you're weird. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to hug my yarn because it's so pretty. So I am very, very excited about this. And yeah, I can't wait to knit it. We're going to see. I chose you to choose the base. So I chose her Superwash Merino Nylon sock base because I thought that would be pretty good for a sweater. And it is super soft and squishy. I'm putting it up here like you can, squish it. I was watching the O-Loops podcast, I think this morning, and they're like, I wish you had squish-o-vision. Yeah, see? Squish-o-vision. See, needles are clicking, yarn is squishy. Squishy. So, that is the only from the mainland that I got this week. From my Hale, I have one little thing here that I wanted to share. Just this adorable little Lego bunny. His ears go wherever you want them. And his head turns, which I think is so cute. His teeth, I think, are my favorite part. They're just hilarious. They're little cheese wedges. That's what that piece is called. And they're just so cute. He's like, anyway, I like him with one ear down because I think it's funny. You can put both. That's as far down as they go, but that looks pretty funny. So this is the little inquisitive bunny. You can sit back here with Chloe. So I think that's it this week, you guys. It was kind of short. but I really just knit on the Appocolypse socks and then the monkey socks that I then paused on because I might end up ripping them back. I'd rather them fit. There's no, like, the deadline for that is like June. So I've got plenty of time. And I've just been in this, like, have to knit all the things now kind of mode. And I'm realizing that I have quite a bit of time to knit those. I don't have to finish them tomorrow. So I'm, like, trying to cool down a little bit. I think having the pattern writing, like, craziness this week was like kind of hyped up my knitting energy of like, but that is done. That was a little stressful. I just was worried about it not being done in time, but it's done, even a couple days early, which is great. So now I don't have to worry about it anymore. I just have to set up a couple of things in Ravelry. So I've been releasing little teaser pictures of it on Instagram. I know you guys have seen the whole shawl or shawls, but I'm going to put it up for kind of preview mode on Ravelry tomorrow. And then I'm going to keep it as an exclusive kit with Leading Man Fiber Arts for a little while. I'm not entirely sure how much time. It might be a week. It might be the whole month of April. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll kind of see how it goes at YarnCon. And if it's, super successful and everyone's loving it, then I'll probably release it sooner. I think if it's not super successful, I'll release it sooner. I don't know. I haven't really made that decision yet. But I know a lot of people are really eager to knit it up, which I'm really excited about. And so it'll be available soon. And of course, I will have a coupon code for you guys, or if you get it at the Leading Man Fiber Arts in their shop, then it'll come with the yarn and the pattern together as a kit. And it'll also come with a coupon code to download it on Ravelry for free. And I'm going to work on, actually today, hopefully, I'm having tea with my best friend in a little bit. And he's going to bring his camera, and I'm hoping going to take some close-up shots of some of the stitch patterns and put those in as like a supplementary document, because the pattern's really long. And so I didn't really want to add a ton of pictures to make it even longer. So I'm going to add this is my tech editor actually suggested this, adding like a supplementary document with some close-up pictures of each of the stitch patterns so you can kind of see a visual representation of the chart, because sometimes it's hard to visualize what a stitch pattern will look like knit and blocked, when compared with the chart. So I'm going to hopefully get some close-up shots today and put those up on Ravelry. I'm not going to have those printed with the kit because it's just a lot of colored ink and it's just nuts. It's a long pattern. It's definitely by far the longest one I've knit. So my next one's definitely much shorter. Not because I don't like the complicatedness of it, but just because I know I just want to appeal to different audiences. Because some people like super complicated stuff. And also the pattern that the night at the theater can be very simple if you, depending on what stitch patterns you choose. It can be very simple, it can be very complicated, but writing up the pattern was complicated to explain all of those things. So I'm very happy to have that kind of out in the world now, or almost out in the world. That was a long time coming. I think I got the yarn for that at last YarnCon. So it's been almost a year of working on that pattern and trying to make it work how I wanted it to. And it went through a lot of iterations, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I can't wait for y'all to see it. Yay! Or can't wait for y'all to knit it. I think you guys have, I've showed it a few times. But the pictures turned out really well. I got those back last week. And I think it was after the podcast. So I got those back. Really happy with them. And yeah, so with that, I will say goodbye. Hope you all have a wonderful Easter and a wonderful week, and I will talk to you all next week. I'm not sure when I'll be podcasting next week because of YarnCon, and then I have an all-day thing on Sunday, but we'll see. We'll figure something out. All right, see you. Bye.